And thus they exclaimed as they clashed through the night.
What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and tonight we're going to be talking about some wild updates coming to Vanguard Season 1, a Christmas event, and some early gameplay of an upcoming map. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, and let me know in the comments, how are you guys feeling about the first season for Vanguard DLC? Now, I think it's crazy that a recap video of cutscenes we've already watched somehow performed better than some of the new marketing we got for Season 1 of Call of Duty Vanguard. I'm not sure how the interest is really looking for this new Vanguard DLC. I'm just hoping interest in the game overall does improve over time. Right now it's not looking that good, and if anything, Warzone has overshadowed the paid portion of Vanguard Season 1, which is the game itself, whereas with all the Cold War DLC seasons, we're like, look, you know, the Cold War content itself was never overshadowed by Warzone, and that should never be the case. No matter how big the update actually is, you should still be getting some attention on the content you did pay for. And by the way, you can win money while playing Warzone over at Players Lounge, perfect timing for the release of Caldera. To get a head start, you can get $25 for free when you sign up using the link in this video's description. There's plenty more games on there other than Warzone as well. You can play solo or with your friends, and it has instant payouts with their automated scoring plus anti-cheat system. They've already gotten huge investment backing from Samsung, Comcast, Drake, and even more. Once again, all the information is down below and even as a pinned comment. Now first, definitely foremost, today Sledgehammer did provide some marketing for the Festive Fervor Christmas event dropping this week inside of Vanguard and Warzone, and that was to be expected, right? Because Christmas is just around the corner, and I'm like, wait a second, when is the Christmas event going to release for Vanguard? It has to be sometime soon, right? And what do you know? They confirmed the rollout for the Vanguard update as December 15th, 9 p.m. Pacific, just a preload though. And then for Warzone, December 16th at 9 p.m. Pacific, but the update officially goes live for all platforms for both games, right when the update does drop for Warzone, December 16th, 9 p.m. Pacific, which is also 12 a.m. Eastern on December the 17th. Hopefully that makes sense, but you guys probably know what I'm thinking, right? This is probably some of the worst timing for a DLC event, which I'm a bit concerned about, considering Spider-Man No Way Home does go live in most theaters, depending on if you got tickets or not, on December 16th. So a lot of people are just not going to be home when this drops, which to me is just a little bit of poor planning on the marketing side from Sledgehammer. They should have rolled this out maybe December 17th in the afternoon at like 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock Eastern. That would have been a lot better. So most of us out there won't be home. However, I'll probably end up streaming a bit of this event the following morning after I see Spider-Man. And yeah, you know, the Vanguard event isn't going anywhere, but Spider-Man will. We already bought tickets for it, so we're not going to go ahead and cancel our tickets for a Christmas event. But we then got the official roadmap for Festive Fervor, which I'm surprised that we got. I wasn't expecting a full roadmap just for this event, but they are treating this as big as the Haunting event was for Black Ops Cold War. And I don't believe this is going to replace the Season 1 Reloaded. We could talk more about that in a separate video. I'm sure we'll still get one of those big updates later in January before Season 2. But here on the roadmap for Vanguard, we of course have the Elf Team 6 Hunting new challenge for multiplayer, the Festive Fervor Armageddon, which is the new version of Drop Zone from Modern Warfare 3, brand new LTM. We then have the Shipment map Holiday reskin, which we're going to call Shipmas. We then have the Deck the Halls Holiday crates all around Caldera for Warzone Pacific, and when you go up to these crates, you can actually get some legendary loot and some extra goodies that are all cosmetically themed around the holidays, of course. And we then have the Elk and Seek Hunting new challenge for Caldera, but then going into Vanguard plus Warzone Pacific, these are bundles. We have Santa's Sleigh, we have Krampus Unleashed, which I'm not really a big fan of because it's not really the full skin of Krampus, just a silly looking mask on a regular looking soldier, even though we got the full model for Krampus on the official artwork for this event, so that's a bit weird. We then have Secret Santa, which I believe are going to have tracers, these Christmas sweater themed blueprints, and even broken resolutions. Now they did mention Beware Krampus is a new challenge that we're going to see. We'll talk more about that later, and also some other rewards and little cosmetics you could probably earn by doing some in-game challenges from multiplayer and even Warzone. And then at the bottom here, we then have 12 festive days of deals, December 14th through the 25th, and that's going to actually count for some Black Ops Cold War bundles, as they confirmed in the blog post today. And they also mentioned multiplayer free access December 16th through the 21st. And there's going to be some other holiday sales we're going to learn about later for, I believe, just the Call of Duty franchise altogether, including Vanguard, and that was to be expected, right? But if you guys are like, wait a second, what about zombies? And yeah, for the first time, I think in a long time, I mean, this is the first roadmap we've gotten in a good year and a half that just doesn't have zombies on it at all. Not even a mention of it. So I guess we can safely assume Jingle Hells, wherever the rumored content was for Duran Fung, is either scrapped or maybe is going to release, but Activision doesn't see zombies as marketable right now. Just a conspiracy theory. Bit of a tinfoil hat for you, but Treyarch did come out and break their silence about some Season 1 festive zombies activities, where they mentioned that, yeah, there will be some Christmas-themed items to look for over in Stalingrad. So they will see us on the 16th. It's unclear what that's going to be, whether it's just a reskin for Duran Fung, whether it's going to be zombies with Santa hats that kind of resemble the awesome haunting event we got for Cold War Zombies a couple of weeks ago. I mean, that was phenomenal. I mean, being able to, you know, shoot the pumpkin heads off zombies and get guaranteed wonder weapons, perks, and legendary loot. Maybe we'll get that again for Duran Fung, but in the form of Santa hats. We'd love to see that, but I would hold my breath on that, right? I wouldn't be too hopeful for anything major in zombies, but it's not looking good. As we talked about before, I think the way zombies have been received so far kind of sets the bar for what to expect for the rest of the year. I don't think they're going to update it very much, and I really don't picture anything massive being added to the mode aside from the promised content for Duran Fung. And even that's not guaranteed. There's no season pass to promise us anything legally for DLC. That's just, you know, to their discretion. Now, we did get a really nice glimpse of this event through a new trailer, which I think was pretty well put together. I think I would have preferred DOS House as the holiday theme map instead of Shipment, since I believe it plays a lot better in Vanguard multiplayer. Just subjective, of course, but like I said before, Shipment does feel weird in this multiplayer. I think World War II did it best, where it stayed faithful to the original. They didn't really change anything about the layout or the crates, but then gave it that World War II aesthetic, whereas this new iteration of Shipment is pretty close to the one we got in Modern Warfare 2019, which I was not a fan of at all. However, this new Christmas theme could be as cool as the holiday themed Nuketowns we got from Black Ops Cold War. We got one for Christmas and even one for Halloween, which was definitely a nice surprise. But you guys may have noticed somebody by the name of Seb over on Twitter has been posting some very spicy information about unreleased content. He actually posted some full early gameplay of this new Shipment Christmas experience. I believe it's already gotten DMCA claimed by Activision, but the gameplay is still out there somewhere. Can't show you on screen for obvious reasons, but yes, gameplay does exist, and it's unfortunate that it seems like, just like Modern Warfare, anything that's new for the game will be played early, will be leaked, will just be playable by people with fancy computers weeks before release. It just takes away the spark from a new update. Like with Season 1 of Vanguard, I'm like, okay, we have a new season coming out, and there really wasn't much marketing. There wasn't even a full gameplay trailer, and then all of a sudden, the zombies content was just out there early, 2 days early to be exact, with no mention of it. Absolutely no tweet from anybody, not Treyarch, not Call of Duty. The content was just there. They're like, okay, it was kind of like that careless attitude towards it. It just dropped whatever it was, the covenants, the objective. No care in the world. And the multiplayer maps were somehow also playable in local. I mean, people even had Battle Pass previews already out, so there was nothing really to stream when the season first released. So that was a bit unfortunate. Hopefully we don't see that for all future seasons of Vanguard, but you never know. Now, what is pretty cool about this event is the Elf Challenge, right? And they call it a challenge even though it's a bit of a actual event in your matches, like we had with the St. Patrick's Leprechaun back during World War II 2017. If you manage to find that little guy in your match and destroy him, it would give you all your kill streaks. I don't think it'll work exactly the same here in Vanguard multiplayer, but the way they described it is that it'll give you progress towards your kill streaks, which is interesting. I'm not sure what exactly that could mean. Maybe it gives you a couple of your streaks, not all of them, or it gives you like a 5-10 kill boost. It's unclear, but I'm sure we'll learn more about this when the event does drop later this week. Nonetheless though, Sledgehammer did a great job with LTMs and these events back during World War II, so I'm hoping that they keep that energy and that momentum here for Vanguard's post-launch season. Now, there is a good explanation as to why the Krampus skin doesn't look like the exact Krampus we have in the artwork, and I think that's because there is going to be that actual Krampus in the form of enemy AI. So as they wrote in the blog post here, while Elf Team 6 can help the nice operators achieve victory, there's something else in store for the ones who act naughty and don't play the objective in respawn-enabled game modes, or for those who camp in Team Deathmatch. The folk horror figure Krampus is coming to Vanguard, appearing during multiplayer matches and targeting whoever has the least impressive objective score, such as pathetic hardpoint time or a disgracefully low number of domination captures. That's badass, right? I love that little addition to this event here. And if you're warned of Krampus's presence, then good luck. He won't hesitate to eliminate his target with an absolutely devastating finishing move, although you might be able to defeat him before he delivers that powerful attack. Now, to really add more fuel to the fire and to really emphasize that Vanguard probably hasn't sold well, they did confirm that for those out there that buy Vanguard going forward or already own the game, they will get 10 Battle Pass tier skips for Season 1. and that's going to be available starting on December 16th and will end on December 31st. They also mentioned a 10% global player weapon and Battle Pass XP boost during the remainder of Season 1, and they did mention that the 24 Vanguard tiers of the Season 6 Battle Pass from Cold War will then be available here for Vanguard for free, for those out there that didn't take part in Season 6 of Black Ops Cold War. Now, this is likely not part of the Christmas event, but you guys remember that rumor about an Attack on Titan crossover coming into Vanguard, right? I think we talked about that in a video a couple of weeks ago, if not a bit longer, and we have new information and new evidence about a Captain America and Indiana Jones crossover. That, I think, is a bit farther away from release, but this Attack on Titan one seems to be coming any day now, since the bundle for it, which is unfinished, has already been added to the game itself and is visible somehow. So this one's strange, but you could see there's references there to finishing moves, some swords, charms, and emblems. It's an unfinished pack. It's unclear what's going to be included in it, aside from the unfinished content we can already see right now. But let me know in the comments, right? Are you a fan of Attack on Titan, and do you think it's the right franchise to cross over with Call of Duty Vanguard? I think looking at some of the cosmetics that are featured in the show, I could see that working here in Vanguard. It does fit the era, at least in my opinion, but I'm not a big person on anime, so I'm not really looking forward to this one. However, I think for those out there that are a fan, they're going to be eating pretty well with this upcoming bundle coming out soon. Now, I also wanted to address the fact that they've recently added in Killcam borders into Vanguard in the form of filler content, which I believe is supposed to be the equivalent of pistol grips and those calling card borders we used to get back during World War II. Pistol grips remained a feature that you would see constantly in supply drops. Again, just filler content, but calling card borders were beyond ridiculous to the point where that got completely removed from World War II altogether, where you would get the same calling card twice, a duplicate, just with a border around one of them. And that just, to me, was unacceptable for so-called filler content. So if you guys still have calling card borders in World War II, then I believe you still have some of the rarest content in that game. And when looking at the new filler content now, it's not pistol grips, there aren't supply drops, so what do they come up with? Killcam borders. Now, I think it's honestly unacceptable that the game has a fair share of issues, not just even Vanguard, but then Warzone, Cold War, Modern Warfare. The new integration system, as I talked about in depth in yesterday's video, has brought forth a variety of problems to the franchise. And with QA seemingly being fired, you have devs going on vacation early for Christmas, with the walkouts, the strikes, the Activision allegations. There's a lot going on right now that just doesn't look good, but somehow resources were still devoted to what I consider some of the most useless cosmetics that I've probably ever seen in gaming history. So these stagnant, plain looking PNGs just go over your kill cam and just look completely out of place. They just do not work. I mean, they look miserable. The resolution on these is terrible, and I wouldn't be surprised if they removed this feature from the game entirely, just like calling card borders back in the day. People have even argued that this just isn't good in the case somebody is cheating in your lobby. These potentially cover up some evidence that somebody may have used walls, used hacks, used some exploit. You can't see half the shit that's going on your screen when this is over it. I mean, I don't think there's a single one of these that makes any sense to even run in Vanguard multiplayer. They just don't look appealing. There's so many other things that I could think of that could serve as better filler content aside from these. Now, a funny comment I even saw was that they're going to be adding trails for when we walk or run, you know, trails for when we reload a gun, kind of like Electric Cherry, an effect like that. You know, customization for every single thing, but this is just cluttered nonsense, as this person wrote. I mean, there's so many things in a game that just don't need customization, but because they got rid of supply drops and because, you know, they don't really have too much filler content in this game yet, they're just looking for anything they can to somehow just pack the game up with stuff that's just meaningless. Now, I think it's sad that developers or artists, some people that are probably just doing their job correctly, have no say in this content, had to work on this because some executive or some higher up really thought this was a good idea. And I'm sorry, but it's already insane that, you know, they're selling charms through a lot of their new Vanguard bundles, but you can't even inspect your weapon yet to see the damn charm. You can barely see it in the menu, and you can barely see it when you're actually using the weapon. I just really don't get the direction they're going with for the cosmetics. A bunch of new bundles for Cold War are going to be releasing, and from what we've seen of them so far, they look incredible compared to these. So I'm like, okay, do we have to wait another season or two before Vanguard starts releasing some actual good bundles? I currently don't plan on buying really anything in Call of Duty Vanguard. There really isn't anything that appeals to me. I mean, yeah, there's that cool MP40 looking blueprint that's animated. There's some tracers coming out soon. Maybe that Captain America skin that's going to release. There's some decent content that we've looked at so far, but this just doesn't look like it's it. This just doesn't look like it's anything worth paying for. Now look, I'm not trying to be that guy where we're relying on nostalgia and, emphasizing the COD cycle by saying, the last game was better, new game's bad. I really despise that, but you guys already know my stance, right? Modern Warfare wasn't my cup of tea, Cold War was, and so far this game is really trying to be a mimic of Modern Warfare 2019, almost in every way possible, which I'm not on board with. However, I've given this game a chance, and I play it when I can, and I believe Sledgehammer could bring us a pretty solid post-launch season, but I just think this game may have been doomed from the start, unfortunately, and some of these DLC updates and the marketing is just a perfect representation of just how weird this game was set to be. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave all your thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on these wild updates coming to Vanguard Season 1? How are you feeling about a Christmas event, which could begin any day now, with not much testing behind it, because, again, lack of QA, and also how are you feeling about the gameplay of our upcoming Shipment, or Shipmiss map, I should say, along with some other content. Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.